I'm just a big mess. That's why my father purposely named me Mary Edith Willard Small. He put the Willard in there on purpose so my initials would not be Mess, M-E-S. Well, a lot of good that did. Look at me. I'm just a great big mess. That's all I am. I'm just a big mess. When I got into show business, I was Mary Small. That was my name. That was my only name that I ever used. I was beginning to get some off-Broadway shows in little theaters in New York. Well, one day, this lady calls me up on the telephone and says, "Young lady, you're using my name. I'm the little Mary Small with the big voice. You apparently are not aware of my radio show, the little Mary Small with the big voice." "Oh no, I'm not aware of your radio show, the little Mary Small with the big voice." "Wow, that's great, you have your own radio show." She said, "You're using my name. I'm in the union. There can't be two entertainers with the same name. You cannot use my name, so just go get yourself a new name, dear, or you will hear from my lawyer." And she hung up the phone. I was dumbfounded. What? Get a new name? What do I do? Get a new name? Another name? Okay, she was serious, not funny. I looked up old family names. For a while, I was Mary Shyland. My husband's name was Rest, so a while I worked as Mary Rusk, until James's mother came to visit us in our Hell's Kitchen apartment. That became confusing because James's mother's name was Mary Rusk. I did try Edith Rusk for a short time. Then one of my show business girlfriends told me I should go see this lady who lives at the top of Carnegie Hall, overlooking the whole city. She's 90 years old, and she specializes in giving people new names. She's a numerologist. Lots of actors go to her. Well, she wrote down the number on a small piece of paper. I said, "Okay, I'll call her up and make an appointment." Well, I did, and here I go, off to get a new name. I took the elevator to the very, very top of Carnegie Hall, the only apartment on the top floor. I rang the doorbell. She opened the door and said, "Please, come in." Everything was beautiful, the most amazing view, and she, at 90 years old, was absolutely gorgeous. I remember she had a long, elegant, flowing pastel dress on. She showed me to a seat, and we began. She asked me my birth date, March 20th, 1942. She seemed to know a whole lot about me. I don't know how she knew all those things, but she did. She went into a number of names. She thought Kimberly would be quite good. Well, I didn't really relate to Kimberly as my new name. I wanted something similar to my name. Although, years later, I did a play called Kimberly Akimbo, in which I played Kimberly Akimbo, who had a disease called progeria, a genetic disorder of childhood causing rapid aging with death usually in puberty. So I played a 16-year-old girl who looks 65 years old. Now, how perfect is that? If they ever do a movie of that play, I want to play that part. You hear that out there? I want to play that part if you ever do that movie. Anyway, I've forgotten the lady's name who lived at the top of Carnegie Hall, was a numerologist and knew so much about me. But we went through other names, and then I asked her about I said, well, what if we just put an A on the end of Mary? We could go Mary Small. Well, she did the numbers and said, that's good. So I paid her and went off as Mary Small. My last name for that name lasted for many years. And then, when my father became ill, I began to study healing. My healing teacher said, I think you should go and see Beatrix, as my career was in a lull, and maybe a little adjustment in my name would help. Beatrix was a numerologist. She also seemed to know a lot about me from nothing, just a few numbers, which was intriguing to me. So we were talking, going through more names. I didn't really want to change my name. After all, I've been in show business for 40 years and can't have a new name just like that. So we were just going to do the first name. So I'm sitting there on the phone with amazing Beatrix, and I look at one of my paintings, which I signed M-E-W-S, Mary Edith Willard Small. I said, what about Mews Small? She did the numbers and then said, oh, that's very good. You'll get a lot of support with that name. And I said, oh, that's good, because I have a band. And I have a drummer who doesn't have a drum set, so I have to bring my drum set everywhere and set it up for him, and he comes right after work and plays for me, and then I put the drum set back in the car and go home. So it was a good idea, and I changed my name to Mews Small. I wasn't going to do it, but when she said that, I felt this little, a ping, just a little ping of energy. And so I liked that little energy for some reason. I'm not really quite sure why, but it was amusing to me that there was this little ping of energy, and that is how I became Mews Small. And that's enough of that.